I've been able to inspire my team by selling the idea, selling the vision to them about what we want to achieve, how we intend to achieve the vision, and when to achieve the vision. So it's been a long journey being able to communicate that same vision to them periodically, not just one-off, but consistently.
In three words, video culture would be one, excellence, two, innovation, and three, video promotes team bonding. So I would say teamwork.
First and foremost, it's in no way toxic. VDL is solid. Like you literally have people that are always willing to help and stuff like that. And then, you're free to try new things, be innovative without any blockers or anything like that. There is room for growth in every sense of the word. I mean, it's like you literally can come in as I don't like as a secretary, and in a couple of years or something, you turn out to become like a lead in some other department.
Well, I think to be honest, I've had some couple of up moment. I think one of the up moment for us, the topmost moment for us as an organization was when we did the last World Cup in Qatar 2022, when we had to power the consumer promotion for Coca-Cola Nigeria PLC, and it was everywhere in the news. And of course, NCC, the Nigerian Communications Commission, the mobile operators, everybody reaching out to us about the promo. And also the downtime of also as a leader also was also during that same campaign when there was an issue with the approval from NCC again, and the pressure was so much that I got calls from the Coca-Cola office in the UK about this same promo. So I was quite surprised when I keep getting calls from different people in government asking about this same promo and mentioning that, look, your company is the one trying to frustrate the process of that promo. It was quite tempting as a leader, but we were able to manage that process and we succeed.
I had spoken to our digital person to just get us, a company that would be able to supply consumers, retailers, the entire market chain. Just provide them with some incentives, a scratch and win incentive that was going to be seamless. No major technological barrier. They would scratch, they would receive a pin, they would input this on their phone, send to a short code, and they'll get rewarded instantly, right? All of those details were on the card. So once they purchase, they'll get some sort of card, and then they would read those details and then follow. It was very like a 3 to 4 step detail. So it was quite easy, and Rotimi and his team came for that meeting, and I looked up like, Rotimi, you are VDL? So it was really nice. My interaction with the team was professional. They were very hands-on, very helpful, very resourceful.
Over the last couple of years, Rotimi and I have been close, and I'm just constantly intrigued by his vision to provide technology users with innovative services. And I think that VDL has done such a phenomenal job with that. Like, I think it's very ambitious, especially in the climate that the business is operating in, and how difficult it is to run a really successful business in Nigeria with some of the challenges. But I think that VDL has really been impactful in that area, and I'm just happy that they're continuing to connect and empower people and businesses all over Nigeria, and soon all over Africa and the rest of the world.
I first of all made video perhaps about 8, 9 years ago as part of their looking out for more businesses, and we sort of engaged, looking out for more opportunities to make impact, and just engaging with the leadership of video. I saw something radically different from what I've always known. These guys were focused on quality work, quite focused on making real impact. So it wasn't just about the money, and I think that endeared me to the team and video.
My leadership style is a combination of transformational leadership and servant leadership.
So one of the leadership lessons that I have learned from working in VDL Technologies is that it is very important to be a servant leader. If you want to get the best out of people, you cannot just be an authoritative leader dictating everything without yourself being an example. So they want to see, it's just like a parent-child relationship. Your children want to see you. It's not just about dishing out instructions. They want to see you being that person. So it is easier for them to also become and to be. So one of my greatest lessons, really, one of my greatest leadership lessons is to also continually grow and become, so that every other person too can say that, okay, if the leadership is growing and moving forward, then I really do not have an option.
When we met, he was a student. So it's a 5 month program. And then subsequently after, so especially after that interaction we had in Kigali, we now started talking a bit more. And he now said, look, you know what, there's many things I'd like to do. And I want to have opportunity to kind of bounce off ideas from time to time. So, and I think I said, that's fine. That's actually why we're here. We're set up as a non-for-profit at EDC. But beyond that, all of us that work at EDC are business counselors. And he was free to do that. And that's actually what we tell them in class. But we see that some people hear that and they don't do anything about that. They just come for the classes. And then when they're done, they leave. And then when you see them 18 months after, 2 years after, they're complaining about something. Like, okay, fine, did you book for an advisory session with a consultant to help you navigate? And they say, oh, they didn't. It's like, well, that's what you're supposed to do. But that wasn't the case with Rotimi. There was no need to say, oh, have you done this? Have you done that? At every point in time, he was checking in. If he needed clarity, he would call. If he wasn't sure about something, he would reach out. And not just reach out to me and just say, you know what, I'm also looking for this person, or do you know this person? So he was deliberate, he was intentional. And I think for me, having known him and his wife, they run the business together, I would say it's been rewarding for me as a business consultant. So as a small business consultant, our role is to handhold if you allow us. Our role is to advise if you listen to it. Our role is to help you navigate if you're open to it. So we can only talk, advise, but you must do the work. And it's been rewarding because they have done the work.
The journey of the last 10 years has been one that has been inspiring. And I would say that the growth trajectory has been very impressive. And a couple of years when the founder was thinking about expansion and growth to a new facility, I sort of supported to ensure that, yes, it's time for you to move out of the comfort zone and do something bigger. But I didn't know it was that big, and I was wowed the time I stepped into the building, seeing that they have grown from like 3-4 people to over 30 employees, and to even see that his business has grown globally. They have footprints outside Nigeria. And in terms of the quality of staff that I saw and that I interacted with during my last training at VDL, it was pretty impressive to see what they are doing and how they are stamping, I would say, the brand across the marketplace in Nigeria, and the waves they're also making.
He always thinks big. Sometimes you are bound by the limits of your mind, right? But with Rotimi, he always thinks about things in big scope, big number of customers, big impact, a large amount of revenue, etc. And I think he sort of transcends that now into his entire company, and that's why they are where they are today.
The most important lesson I've learned as a leader is to learn to be a transformational leader, which means ability to inspire my followers.
He has been more than a role model. He cares more beyond growing professionally, beyond the contributions you bring to the company. He also looks out for your personal growth and development. There have been times where he calls for meetings and I'm all ready for a report on what I've done, a report on maybe a deliverable, and To my surprise, the meeting could go a totally different direction. It's something I see that it does for each team member, always looking out for us beyond our professional growth and contributions to even our personal lives, ensuring that we are just balanced. And something I know is this is important because as an employee, a 9 to 5, as we call it, I spend most of my time here, and it just helps. It helps me. It helps my personal life. It helps me have, I would say, that all-round balance, really.
His humility is next to nothing. He has this open hand and he wants to welcome people. He's very welcoming. He has a listening ears.
If you want to lead people, you have to understand them, right? And I appreciate the fact that from Rotimi's perspective, he always sort of tries to understand the people he's working with. And I see him applying it as well, even to his own company, to first understand each person, understand their motives, understand what drives them. And it's from that he sort of guides them towards what should be the goal.
I believe the most important thing that I can use to inspire your followers are your stories, letting them know where you started from and where you are at the moment. It also is not the end of the journey.
I think about 5-6 years ago, we were implementing our anti-fraud solution with MTN Nigeria, and VDL had some services that they needed to onboard on our platform, and that was where our first engagement, and that was how I met Rotimi. We've moved and grown in our both personal relationship and professional relationship over the last 5 to 6 years. So we serve VDL as upstream in different capacities, as a platform provider to MTN, and also as a campaign provider to them, running digital acquisitions for VDL, for some of their services as well.
Nigerian market in terms of providing digital and technology solutions.
Started mostly as a VAS company, as a value-added service company, that works with the telcos, MTN and Airtel and all that. We now have our games. There's that stark difference between, people, right? We have more people now, and we have more services that we offer. And definitely, as we keep growing, more services will definitely come on board as well.
I'd like to say how I first connected with VDL. I worked with Rotimi back then in 2014 in iConcept, where I was the business development manager for marketing department, and he was the head of VAS team for the same company, and we handled a couple of projects together. And then later we reconnected after I left the company at the early growth phase of the company, where it originally operated as VAS DG Mobility. I was drawn through friendship, through professional engagement, and we had something in common then. We wanted to, work as a team or as a partner, right? So we collaborated on technology-driven initiatives where we handled quite a number of campaigns. And then what stood out for me immediately was the company's ambition to use innovation to solve real-world problems. And then the initial interaction quickly grew into a deeper involvement, where I saw the passion, the structure, and the long-term intent behind the brand VDL.
At a restaurant with one of our friend Abe, and they will sit there. We talk about so many things. We talk about challenges of recruiting. We talk about business itself, making money, investments, the investors, so many issues. And I see where they are now. I'm really, really happy for VDL. I'm really happy for VDL. And I don't want to say Rotimi because VDL is also Rotimi. Rotimi is VDL. But I'm really happy for them. And in 10 years' time, I know they will break more grounds. They will do bigger things. Like, I knew when they started without licenses, like they were trying to hustle, they are trying to do things, and all we have to just do is pray, hope, and work. But now they've gone beyond that. Now they have licenses to do whatever they want to do. They are breaking more grounds, they are getting more licenses, and they are winning more battles.
VTO has performed in the last 10 years. They have been very visionary in the outlook of their products and services. They have been very innovative, providing solutions in in various ways to the many organizations they service. More importantly, they have been persevering, even in the midst of very strong competition. They have persevered in the midst of the economic challenges to remain relevant.
Yeah, when we started together, the new digital ecosystem in telecoms was very fresh, very nascent. So we had scenarios where the entire ecosystem was sort of trying to figure it out. VDL was one of the early outliers in terms of understanding what the market wants, understanding how to reach the customer, and as well taking risk, because early stage development in that kind of ecosystem that was still sort of budding, it comes with its own risks. Video took the step, and I think that's part of why they're successful now.
I'm excited because that vision that started in one small room has now transformed, has now broken into, has given birth to that duck, if I may use that. So imagine that small egg that they laid and it cracked. And today it's now not even a duck, it's now like maybe a big bird. So it cracked and has wings to fly as much as they could fly. So 10 years of impact, 10 years of creating exceptional solutions, 10 years of offering exceptional services, 10 years of growth, 10 years of impacting on people, and 10 years of expanding, not just within the small space where they started expanding globally. Yes.
The most important decisions I've made in the last 10 years of betting VDL Technologies is actually joining VDL Technologies fully. Because when VDL Technologies started, it was just my husband and then I supporting from the outside. I was working in another organization at the time, and then staff would go and come. But at the time, it was just like we had a discussion, and it was like, you need to join the organization fully because I need you on this team. I cannot do this alone. And that has also helped me greatly because now, from being within the organization, it is easier to grow, it is easier to come up with strategies to move the organization forward, rather than just being on the sideline and he coming home and say, okay, this is what we need to do, this is the challenge that we are facing. Now I can see the challenge that we are facing, or any challenge that, if we are facing any challenge, I can see it head on and we can deal with it together as a team. So that would be one of the major decisions I've made in the last 10 years, joining VDL Technologies fully and working as a team to move VDL Technologies forward. In the last 10 years, decision that I regret. Okay, so that would be one of the decisions that I regret in the last 10 years was hiring someone without following my instincts, without following my intuition, and just hiring someone based on their capacity or based on what is on their CV or based on what they think that they can do. So that is one major thing that I think I would say is a regret, because in the end it cost us, and then we learned our lesson and we are in a better place today.